The villagers of Aquaba feared only one place more than death itself, the Whispering Forest. At its center stood an ancient grave wrapped in chains, hidden beneath giant trees older than the village. No one knew who was buried there. But every full moon the grave would speak. Not loudly, not angrily, softly, like the voice of someone you loved. And whoever answered that voice disappeared before dawn. For years, the villagers obeyed one sacred rule. No matter whose voice you hear, never answer. Then tragedy struck. A young widow named Neka lost her only son, Emeka, to a strange fever. She buried him with her own hands and never smiled again. Every evening, she sat outside her hut clutching his tiny wooden flute. On the night of the full moon, heavy fog covered the village. Dogs whimpered. Babies cried in their sleep. Then, from deep inside the forest, a small voice echoed softly. "Mama!" Neka froze. Her heart stopped beating. Again the voice came. "Mama, I'm cold." Tears filled her eyes instantly. Sounded exactly like Emeka. The villagers rushed to hold her back. "It's the grave," they cried. "Don't answer." But the voice sounded weaker now, trembling with pain. "Mama, why did you leave me alone?" Neka broke down sobbing. "That is my child." The elders blocked the road, begging her not to go. But grief is stronger than fear. She grabbed a lantern and ran into the forest barefoot. The deeper she went, the quieter the world became. No insects, no wind. Only Emeka's voice calling her again and again. Finally she reached the grave. The chains around it were broken. And sitting beside the grave was little Emeka, smiling, alive. "Mama," he whispered. Neka dropped her lantern and hugged him tightly, crying uncontrollably. "I knew you would come back to me." But as she held him, his body slowly turned cold. Too cold. Then she noticed something horrifying. Emeka had no shadow. The boy slowly looked up at her, and his smile stretched unnaturally wide. "You should have let me rest." The ground beneath Neka cracked open. Pale hands burst from the soil, grabbing her legs. She screamed for help, but the forest swallowed every sound. By sunrise, the villagers found the lantern near the grave, and beside it lay Emeka's tiny wooden flute. The next full moon came. The village stayed awake in terror. Then the grave whispered again, this time in Neka's voice. "Please help me." But the villagers ignored.